Did you know that using British English in the Duolingo English test could actually lose you points? Both the fill in the blanks and read and complete questions need you to use American English only. So in this video, we're looking at the 8 most common differences between British and American spelling so you can get a perfect score in your DET. So let's get started. Hello, I'm Francis from Last Minute English. Today we're looking at the differences in spelling between British and American English to make sure you get the best score possible. But before we start, let's just remind ourselves what those 2 question types look like. So in fill in the blanks, you get a single sentence. One of the words will have some letters taken away, and your job is to fill in the blank. You have to find which letters are missing and complete that word. And that's going to come up between 6 and 9 times in your exam and contributes to your literacy and comprehension subscores. And the really difficult thing for fill in the blanks is you only get 20 seconds to answer that question. In read and complete, it's a little more gentle. You have 3 minutes, but you have to look at a full passage, and many different words will have letters missing. You have to complete all of them. Read and complete also gives you points for literacy and comprehension, and it comes between 3 and 6 times in the exam. So that's our quick review of the questions. Let's get started with those spelling differences. We're looking at 8 differences in all, and I think number 7 is one that you'll already know. So let's find out when we get there if it's already familiar to you. But we're starting, of course, with number 1, and that's the difference between O-U-R and O-R. In British English, we often say O-U-R. American English, they delete the U, O-R. So for example, American English, if they say color, it's C-O-L-O-R. If they say humor, it's H-U-M-O-R. Can you think of any other ones? Pause and have a think. So you might have thought of words like favorite. In American English, that's F-A-V-O-R-I-T-E. Also honor, behavior, and many more as well. The important thing is that if you see an O-U-R, that's usually British English, O-R, American English. Now we're going to do a practice question for this, but before we do, let me just remind you, all of the other questions in DET, you can use British English and you can use American English. Both are fine. It's just for the 2 questions, fill in the blanks and read and complete, you have to use American English. That's the important thing to remember. Now let's do a little activity. I'm going to show you a fill in the blanks question. I'm going to give you 20 seconds. You have to, with American English spelling, choose the correct word. Okay? Here we go. 20 seconds starts now. Okay, how did you do? If you said neighbor, then you were correct, and it's B-O-R to finish. Difference number 2 is about the end of words. If a word ends in R-E in British English, it will often end in E-R in American English. For example, the word theatre in British English is T-R-E, American English, T-E-R. The same with liter, T-R-E in British, T-E-R in American. So let's take a look at a few examples. We've got a list of words and I want you to tell me which one is British English because the rest of them are all American English. Let's see if you can find the British English spelling. Have a look at these words now and find me the British word. Okay, so did you find it? If you chose caliber with B-R-E, you were correct. In American English, that would be B-E-R. And the caliber of something means the quality of something, how good something is. Now, just before we move to difference 3, a little detail that's important about this ER or RE is that some words in British English and American English are always the same. For example, comparative adjectives. That's words like faster, lonelier, bigger. Those ones are always ER. And it's the same with jobs. Things like teacher. That's always ER. British English, ER. American English, ER. Then difference number 3 is all about double L, when we have LL in a word. Now, most of the time, British and American English are the same for this. Think about words like really or totally. You might also think of follow, valley, dollar. All of those have 2 L's and they're spelt the same in both. But what about words that have 2 syllables, 2 spoken parts, and they end with a single L? So for example, the word travel. So just the word travel is the same in British and American, but if we add suffixes to the end, so that's little words at the end that change it into a different word, British and American English become different. For example, a person who travels is a traveller, and that only has 1 L in American English. In British English, 2 L's. What about the verb ing, travelling? 1 L in American English and 2 L's in British English. And the same for the past. In British English, it would be travelled with 2 L's. American English, only 1 L. Let's do another activity now. So we're watching out for the past tense here, and I'm going to give you a read and complete question. I'm going to give you 45 seconds to finish these 2, okay? So you're looking for 2 words that end in L-E-D. All right, let's have a try now. Okay, so welcome back. So the first one was cancelled, so C-E-L-E-D, not double L, and the other one was labelled, also L-E-D to finish. Let's move to difference 4. Let's take a look at this sentence, and you tell me, was this written by an English person or an American person? Let's read it together. When I was a kid, my mother bought all of my clothes from a catalogue. What do you think? So it would be a British person, because the word catalogue with G-U-E at the end is a British English spelling. If it was an American, they would just write L-O-G, no U-E. Okay? This is not a super common one, but we have a list of the most common words where you might see this. And those words are catalogue, analogue, dialogue, and monologue. Difference number 5 is that American English generally uses SE for both nouns and verbs. Let's see 2 example sentences to help us understand. So let's read the first one. Emma knows she should practice playing the piano every day. So that's practice as a verb. And then the second sentence, I haven't been getting enough French practice recently. That's practice as a noun. But notice both of them are SE to finish. That means that this is an American writing. If we were writing in British English, we would spell the French practice with CE because it's the noun. But of course, in DET, we have to use American English. So we can follow that rule of SE for a lot of different words. One word where we don't follow it is in this sentence. Let's have a little look. See if you can guess the missing word. So the sentence is, if you have overstayed your visa, you should seek legal, what would that be? It's legal advice. And that one is with CE. If you're enjoying this video and you're finding it useful, make sure to like and subscribe because we release several videos every week about improving your English and preparing for your English exams. And if you are preparing for the DET, you probably know your irregular past tense forms pretty well, right? If you don't, make sure to let me know in the comments and I can make a video about that. And that's actually the topic of difference number 6, all about the past tense with irregular verbs. So if we look at the 3 verbs, earn, dream, and spell, in British English, the past tense is irregular. Okay, so they are all with a T. It's yesterday I earnt, yesterday I dreamt, yesterday I spelt. But in American English, they're all in the past tense with ED. They're just normal. They're not irregular. So they are earned, dreamed, and spelled. So all you have to do is remember that those 3 and many others like them are a normal past tense spelling. Then difference 7 is one that I think you might have noticed already, and that is the difference between the spelling of words like realize and vocalize. In British English, we spell them with I-S-E at the end. But in American English, what would they be? They would be I-Z-E, or as British English people say, I-Z-E. Z-Z, it's the same thing. Okay, so realize is L-I-Z-E in American English. Now, for a lot of verbs, that's all you need to know, and it's quite simple. But it can get a little bit more complicated when the verb and the noun are the same word. For example, with the words exercise, disguise, and compromise, all of them are a noun and they're a verb. And in that case, they all use I-S-E. And that doesn't matter if you're in British English or American English, exercise never has I-Z-E. It's always I-S-E. And in fact, what you can do is just trust your instincts, because you've probably done a lot of like English reading and you've been learning English in school, and some words will just look wrong. We're going to do a little bit of a test of that now. I'm going to give you, let's say 15 seconds to look at these words. Some of them, most of them are spelt correctly, but one of them is spelt wrong. Okay? So which one has a wrong spelling in this list? Have a look now. So, did you find the incorrect spelling? It was, of course, surprise, because surprise is the same as a noun and as a verb, so it's always S-E, even in American English. Now, these differences are pretty complicated and it can be a little bit overwhelming. So, we've created a free PDF so that you can keep studying, keep reviewing this information. The link is just here under the video. So we're finally at difference number 8, and difference number 8 is kind of hard to explain. It's just words that, for historical reasons, have always been spelt differently. There's not a rule to learn here, it's just you have to remember which one is British English, which one is American English. So we're going to do a little exercise here. I'm going to give you 6 pairs of words. You have to decide which word is the British English spelling and which is the American English. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to decide these ones, okay? Let's begin. Okay, welcome back. So, pretty difficult challenge, I think, but let's look at the American English spelling. So we have tire, check, pajamas, and all of these are pronounced the same, so it's very hard. But the next one is pronounced differently. Aluminum. Aluminum. In British English, that's aluminium. Very different. Aluminum is American. And we have airplane and we have plow. So that's the last of our 8 British and American English spelling differences. A lot of information, I know. Remember to check out that PDF. But now we're going to do a practice question of read and complete, all right? So I'm going to show you the passage on screen. It's got a lot of these different words in American English spelling that we've been looking at. You've got 3 minutes. Have a try and complete those words now. Okay, so welcome back. So there were 6 questions in total, and I'm going to give you the answers now, but remember to let me know under the video in the comments how many you got right. Let's take a look through and read together. So, my name's Angelo Rios, and I run a health and wellness startup. That sounds cool. This week, I need to organize, with Z, with Z-E, my catalog, with just G, no U-E, of products before sending it out to customers. My favorite, no U, just O-R, my favorite section is the one on health supplements, many of which are full of natural fiber, so B-E-R. I'm currently labeling, with one L, the items and will advise, S-E, the team on how to improve the layout for next season. So there we go. Remember, check out the free PDF. It's got all of these different differences, 8 different differences for you to check out. It's really important to review them because you want to make sure you get as high a score as possible on fill in the blanks and reading complete. That PDF is available under the video. Make sure to like and subscribe as well. I'm Francis from Last Minute English. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.